if you saw the clip, that means YouTube let it go through. If not, that means I was shut down. This is the story of R&B singer Case. Case Woodard was born October 4th, 1975, known mononymously as Case. Is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. He's best known for his 1990s hits, Touch Me, Tease Me, featuring Foxy Brown, Mary J. Blige, Happily Ever After, and The Best Man I Can Be, with Genuine, RL, and Tyrese, as well as the early 2000 hits, Missing You and Lifting It Up, with Ja Rule. The latter two earned him 2 Grammy Award nominations. Born Case Woodard, he was raised in several areas of New York City and New York State, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Mount Vernon. He was living in the Bronx when he was 17 years old in a family that he has described as being very strict. His father was a one-time aspiring singer, and Case was the eldest of 3 siblings that included his 2 younger sisters. By the time he was 5 years old, he was entertaining his family and friends with concerts he performed in the family's living room. His aspirations to become a professional singer were discouraged by his family, particularly his mother, and the tension between the two caused him to leave as a teenager. For a time, he lived in an abandoned 1-bedroom apartment in the South Bronx. I was eating just anything I could and sleeping anywhere I could, he told Showcase magazine. I left home because my family didn't want me to pursue the artist route. He continued to sleep in abandoned apartments during what he described as one of the coldest winters the East had ever seen. The irony of it all was that he was only 4 or 5 blocks away from his parents' house. He eventually reconciled with his parents and moved back home, and took a job with the New York Housing Authority while continuing to record demo tapes of his singing and songwriting skills during the evenings. He eventually received employment as a co-writer and background singer for such R&B artists as Al B. Sure, Christopher Williams, and Usher. During this period, Case was linked romantically with soul singer Mary J. When he released his self-titled debut album on Def Jam in '96, sales were slow, due in part to the fact that the album's million-selling lead single, Touch Me, Tease Me, had appeared previously on the popular soundtrack to The Nutty Professor. Characterized by tape loops and hip-hop production values, Case's first album, he later told MTV.com, wasn't him at all. He blamed himself for the album's inconsistent sounds, explaining that he accepted diverse input from too many people. He had his vision of what he wanted to do, but he was listening to this person, that person, until he eventually lost track. His second album, Personal Conversation, he presented a more consistent, smoother sound, best exemplified on the love ballad, Happily Ever After. The recording also includes Having My Baby, a song written on the occasion of his son's birth. This album is by far a better representation of Case, both as an artist and a person, according to Def Jam's website. It is the story of a young man who is in love and lust. Def Jam, which is owned by the Island Record Group, inaugurated the company's Def Soul R&B and Soul subsidiary label. Case became the label's first artist. On Def Soul's artist roster by Sisqó, Music Soul Child, and Kelly Price. On his third album, Open Letter, he worked with producer Redhead Kingpin, as well as production teams Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, who had worked with such artists as Janet Jackson and Tim and Bob. The team responsible for much of his music released by Boyz II Men and Sisqó. Featured on the album is guest singer Charlie Wilson. Charlie was also an idol of Case's. After a few years away from the music industry, he reappeared in 2008 on the track Face to Face, a duet with Coco, which was included on the soundtrack of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. His fourth studio album, The Rose Experience, which was released on March 24, 2009. His fifth studio album, Hair, My Love, was released on June 15, 2010 on Real Talk Entertainment, featuring the single Old Fashioned Lovin', and peaked at number 58 on the Billboard R&B Albums chart. In 2014, a best compilation album was released via Def Jam Records. On May 27, 2014, later that year, he signed with E1 and went on to work on his sixth studio album titled Heaven's Door. The following year, he was profiled on TV One series Unsung, which followed his career. In 2018, he signed with X-Ray Records and continued to tour. In 2018, he signed with X-Ray Records and continued to tour. In August 2018, it was announced that his next studio album, Therapy, will be released on September 7, 2018. Okay, y'all, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.